Hi Tax Pros, this is Kelly Lear and Tracy Wheeler reporting from IPT 2013, day 2 of the conference. We wanted to share some of our conference activities today. Tracy and I split up this morning, and I got to go to a session called The Good, Bad, and the Ugly of Sales and Use Tax Developments. And the presenters shared some really neat things that were happening in the legislative environment as well as the judicial environment. And I usually share from this session the bad and the ugly, or as our presenters were calling it, coyote ugly this year. But I think I'm going to share the good today. And one of the things that they were talking about in the state of Texas is that a lot of the rulings lately have gone to a simple language interpretation, which is really good for taxpayers. It means that we can, as taxpayers, if we're bringing something to suit or we're bringing it all the way in, that they will take simple language right from the code versus the jurisdictional or the agency interpretation of the rules. The second thing that I got to attend this morning was educating the decider of fact, and that was a really interesting presentation, both from the property assessor and expert testimony perspective, as well as the attorney perspective. And they were sharing a lot of the things that you should always do if you're bringing any litigation for property tax assessments to pass, and what you should and shouldn't do to make that effective.
Great. Probably the best session that I attended today was a deep dive into New York corporate income tax issues. And it was actually presented by Maria Eberly, an associate with, let me get this right, McDermott, Will and Emery in New York. And she presented with Nigel Bisnath, who is a direct tax manager for Nobles America Corporation. And they actually spent a considerable amount of time explaining the final regulations related to combined reporting, but then went on to explain that there's a trend in New York right now where the auditors are actually pushing for decombination in an effort to try to get more state tax revenues. So, while they have the combined reporting final regs, they're actually forcing a lot of companies to decombine to try to get the most bang for their buck.
And as you guys can all imagine, a common theme throughout all the presentations has been that all these states are very cash hungry, so they're going aggressively after as much tax revenue as they can get, of course.
Absolutely. And then finally they reviewed a lot of court cases and rulings related to business versus investment income, and doing business in New York, and then fulfillment center exemptions. So those were just some cases related to those issues in New York. But Maria did a fabulous job, and it was a great session.
Great. Well, Tracy and I are going to share some more in-depth blogs on these sessions because they were very interesting, and I think you guys will all want to get some information out of them. Tonight, Tracy and I are going to attend a networking event at SeaWorld, and that should be really great. They're going to have a buffet and a lot of schmoozing.
Yep, and Kelly and I have been doing a considerable amount of tweeting, so if you aren't at the conference, and there's been participation from some other folks as well, so even if you aren't at the conference, you can follow us on our blog or on Twitter at the hashtag 2013 IPTAC, and then we've been trying to upload pictures onto the Facebook page as well, so check it out.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Take care.